Hey everyone, it's the one and only magnificent bird, Beak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, this is one I've been looking forward to getting to. I'm going to be ranking all four of the Naked Gun movies, and not only am I just going to be ranking the movies, I got a couple of tier lists that I'm going to get to in this video, such as the jokes, the plots. I'm even going to rank the four villains, and I'm going to rank the movies themselves. So, yeah, I hope all of you are doing good and staying safe out there. And if you like the video, make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And make sure to leave a comment, all that, excuse me, leave a comment and all that good stuff. And make sure you turn on all notifications so you know the second that I upload to YouTube. And I think we're going to start with the Naked Gun plots. So we're going to just go through them. So kind of let me explain what these images are. So the first images, we have a symbol of a nuclear plant or whatever. So this one involves the plot of the Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear. And honestly, I'm just gonna excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my throat today. Damn. Okay. I think I'm fine now. Damn. Alright. Now the nuclear plot of the second movie, like the villain Quentin Habsburg, honestly, I was just too worried about laughing at the ridiculous shit in that one to even pay attention to exactly what he wanted to do with nuclear destruction. I have no idea. Honestly, it was too funny to even worry about what the villain's plan was, but I'm going to put the nuclear destruction, since I don't remember it all that much, I'm just going to put it in D, because again, all the ridiculous, other shit that was going on was too funny for me to even pay attention to it, so I'm just going to put it in D. Now, this image of this old lady next up is supposed to be Queen Elizabeth, but not really, but she's supposed to be. And the villain for the first movie, Vincent Ludwig, wants to knock her off, wants to assassinate her, because I think he wants America to be feared by England, I'm assuming. And he's also wrapped up in other various criminal activities, moving weapons, drugs, but he's supposed to be like a dignified businessman. But, see, that one's a lot more simpler than the nuclear one, even though it isn't 100 perfectly explained. I'm going to put it, you know what, I'm going to put it in S. It's pretty simple. The bad guy wants to kill the queen just cuz. Like, you gotta remember, these Naked Gun movies aren't meant to be taken seriously, so you gotta know that going into them. Next up, okay, yeah, this is supposed to be an Academy Award, but I just found a random picture of a trophy. And this one is from the Naked Gun 33 and 1/3, The Final Insult. The villain, Rocco Dillon, and his mother, and Rocco's lover, they want to blow up the Academy Awards. Again, for what reason, I don't know, but it is a little bit more simpler than the nuclear one, so I'm going to kind of put it in, I'm going to put it in B, just because, again, it is a little bit more simpler. And, yeah, next up, this picture right here is supposed to be a New World Order dystopian, okay? And this is from the Naked Gun 2025, the newest one. So our villain, Richard Kane, he pretty much wants to... Okay, so think of that movie, The Kingsman, Samuel Jackson's plan, how Samuel Jackson wants to use those SIM cards and cell phones that he gives out, and he wants everybody to pretty much wipe each other out, except for him and select people that he's chosen to survive. So it's pretty much like that, except instead of Richard Kane handing out, chips for everybody's like cell phones or Sims cards, rather, instead of Richard Kane handing out Sims cards for everybody's cell phones, he's got a literal plot device that he has a switch that will either calm people down or calm people up. And when he flips it up to calm people up, he pretty much wants everybody to wipe one another out except for him and the elite. And once everybody has wiped each other out, they'll be in a cave, or they'll be in a bunker or a lair while all of that is happening. And when everybody's done wiping each other out, those that survived in his bunker will create a new world. So I'm gonna put it, it's not, I didn't know what the hell was going on with the nuclear one. I'm gonna put it, I'm gonna put it in B. I'll put it in B. So there we go. There's the plots down and over with. Let's go ahead and get to the villains. Okay, we'll go to that one next. So here is Quentin Habsburg from The Naked Gun, Two and a Half, The Smell of Fear, and his plan of nuclear destruction. Again, I didn't quite get his plan. He wanted to do something with nuclear something, whether something another. And the fact that he is dating Jane, Priscilla Presley's character, after Jane and Frank Drebin, they were dating, they were beginning to date there at the end of the first one, but then Jane broke off the wedding, and so she started dating Quentin, which, I mean, she has a bad taste in men other than Frank Drebin. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna put him, I don't know, should I put him in, I'm not putting him in B, no. I'm gonna put him in D, because I'll tell you why. Because at the end of the movie, when they're at this place where they're presenting, where this doctor is presenting, oh god, what the hell is he presenting? The actor that played Vernon Dudley from Harry Potter is in the second one, and he's presenting something, and he plans on blowing up everybody there. Quentin is, with a nuclear bomb, and the only reason I put him at tier D is because the bomb is about to blow up, because Frank Drebin, he speeds up the timer, and he's like, he grabs Jane's hand and he's like, let's get out of here even though the bomb's going to blow up. He trips over the wire and he unplugs the bomb and it stops working. Like, come on, Quentin. I know it's not meant to be taken seriously, but like, I don't know, man. Did you have to really plug it up and make it that incredibly dumb and easy for Frank Drebin? I just got to put him in D. Okay. Next up, we have Rocco Dillon, from the villain from The Naked Gun, 33 and 1/3, The Final Insult. So, at the beginning of the movie, Rocco Dillon is in prison, and he's planning on busting out of the prison to blow up the Academy Awards, and he's working with Pap Schmear, the one guy from the very first one that we see briefly. I should have maybe added Pap Schmear, but I just didn't. Because, I mean, Pap Schmear, he isn't really all that much in the first one. He's in the third one a little bit more, but like, again, he kind of shows up and then kind of disappears for most of it, and so his plan is a lot more simpler, because he wants to blow up the Academy Awards because he's a down low criminal. So just for that simplicity, I'll put him at B. Just because there's parts of it I didn't understand, but I kind of get it, because he's just a criminal who, he wants to keep on doing criminal things, Now, we got Richard Kane right here from the newest Naked Gun with Liam Neeson. Again, he's just pretty much copy and paste Samuel L. Jackson's villainous plan from the first Kingsman movie. So, I mean, again, yeah, it's not original, but the fact that he wants to take out the whole world and create a new world order, essentially, I gotta put him at A. His performance was pretty good, and while his villainous scheme wasn't original by none stretch, I thought it was better than the other twos. Now, we have Vincent Ludwig from the first one, who wants to assassinate the Queen. And he has this hypnosis, not hyper, but hypnosis overload sensory, where he can mind control somebody to do it for him. And I just, I think that's pretty fucking ingenious, even though it's not meant to be taken seriously. I gotta put it in S, man. I don't know. Yeah, so there's my ranking. I think Quentin is, his villain scheme, it's like, I didn't understand what the hell he wanted to do. Something with nuclear power. I didn't understand it. Rocco's plan was a little bit more simpler. It was a little bit better. I liked Richard Kane's plan, even though he was copying from a much more serious movie. And then Vincent Ludwig, the fact that he wants to pretty much make someone a hitman to take out his target for him, I just think that's brilliant, honestly. So now we're going to get to the fun part. The Naked Gun jokes and gags. So for this one, we could be here all day. I could have chosen multiple, but you got to remember I got 4 movies to go over, so I limited down to 4 jokes for each of the 4 movies. So we got 4 apiece to go over. All right, so this one, oh god, okay, we're starting off strong with this one. Okay, so this one is from the Naked Gun 33 and 1/3, the final insult. So, okay, so you see this shocked look on Frank Drebin's face, like he's disgusted, okay? So this one is toward the end of that movie, and Rocco Dillon's lover, I wish I could remember her name in the movie, but Anna Nicole Smith, she's trying to distract Frank Drebin, and, like the whole plan to blow up the Academy Awards is Rocco Dillon, no, not Rocco Dillon, but Anna Nicole Smith's character has put a bomb in one of the presentation envelopes, and when they go to read the best actor envelope, it's going to blow everybody up there. That's the plan anyway, and so she's trying to distract him, kind of, because he ends up, Frank Drebin finds Anna Nicole Smith's character, and he's like, I've been looking for you everywhere. Where's that bomb? And she tells him right away where it is and what envelope, but she's like, you've been so kind to me, and she's trying to, she kisses him and she kind of pushes him down on the bed, and she takes her dress off only to reveal that, at least in the movie, she's a transsexual. So she's got a candy cane where it looks like a big old candy cane that comes out of her, downstairs, and that's where he gets that disgusted look on his face. He gets up and leaves the room, and he proceeds to go on the stage at the Academy Awards, and he pukes into one of the instruments. Oh god damn, I thought that was a good joke. Oh man, we're starting off strong on this one. Oh lord. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna put any in D. I gotta put it in A. It was so good. It honestly was pretty good. So we're gonna try to keep them in order. There's some of them that are a little mixed up, but that's okay. Next up, we have the epic facepalm meme. So this is a little bit after what I was just going over, right? And Rocco Dillon has Jane held hostage in front of everybody, and Frank is like, there's this whole joke about, if I open this envelope that, I'll be dead, but, Frank is like, yeah, I'll be dead, but you will be, but everybody will be dead here, but they're like, he says that, he tells Rocco, Frank does, that you should have the envelope, and then that's where they do the swap exchange of the gun in the envelope, and that's where that epic facepalm meme comes from, and I've seen it so many times before I saw this movie, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's where this comes from, okay. So I've seen the meme like plenty of fucking times before I've even seen the movie. So just because of its legendary status, damn, do I want to put it in S tier? I gotta put it, I don't think I'm gonna put anything in C or D. I gotta put it down. It is a pretty legendary meme. Even if you've never seen the movie, I guarantee you that you've seen the meme. I know I have before I ever saw the movie. I didn't know it was even from Naked Gun, which honestly, now that I've seen all of them, it makes sense. I'm gonna put it, let's put it in, you know what? I'll put it in A. It's pretty good. It's pretty funny. Now, let's see. Oh, yeah, let's get to this one. Oh, my God. Okay, so Frank, at one point, he ends up going to the prison where Rocco Dillon is, and he's infiltrating the prison to befriend Rocco Dillon, And there's a scene where he's taking a shower, where they're in the showers, and there's this guy that comes in there and he has a bar of soap, and y'all know where this is hidden, okay? So so the guy, he drops the soap, and the guy, he gets to Frank in the showers, and he's like, "Why don't you pick that up for me?" And Frank is like, "Sure," but Frank knows what he's gonna try to do. Don't drop the soap. So, oh my gosh, Frank has his whole bottom covered up. He's got all this metal on. He's got locks on. So that guy ain't penetrating shit. Frank is like, "Yeah, even though I'm in prison, I'm gonna make sure of that." So yeah, you hear that shit all the time. Don't drop the soap, and literally, like, they have that gag in here, but Frank, he's all covered up. He ain't penetrating nothing, and like the guy looks at him like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, I'm gonna have to put, honestly, I'm gonna put this one in S, just because, yeah, you've heard that shit so many times. Don't drop the soap, but they take it to a all new in the third one. So let me see. I think we got one more for the third. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and knock out the third one. Okay, so you got, okay, right here, Jane, you have her dress, which Frank got her. It's a night dress, and I thought it was just funny because of how it's lighting up everywhere. It's giving you clues, like, yeah, you got arrows pointing down, and you got where her boobs are. It's a light up nightgown. I've never seen a nightgown like that ever before. So, like, I tried to think of only four per movie because we would be here all day. I'm gonna put it in B, just because I don't think it's still funny, but it's not as funny as the other three. So yeah. Next up, we're gonna get, let's get the second one tackled down. Okay. So at the beginning of the movie, okay, so yeah, at the beginning of the movie, Frank Drebin is invited to the White House, and he's causing Mrs. Bush all sorts of pain because, like, when he first arrives, Mrs. Bush is walking, and then the door, wham, slams open, and against her face, there he is, and then, he sees, Frank Drebin sees this hot lady there, and he decides to pull a chair for her, and Mrs. Bush is going to get ready to sit down, and she ends up falling in the floor, dragging the whole tablecloth and all down on top of her with plates and glasses, and they say, the great lady is down. Instead of the first lady, they say the great lady is down again. And then they all go to sit down, and he's getting in, Frank Drebin is getting into and trying to get into the lobster and try to break it to get into the meat, and he does his arm back, and wham, he backhands Mrs. Bush, and she ends up falling completely out of the chair. So I'm gonna have to put that one, this is a tough one. It's either got to be A or B. Um, you know what? I'll put it in A. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty funny. Okay, so we're still going to stick with the second one. So we have the hitman gets the hose. Okay, so in the second one, Quentin Hapsburg, he plans to have Jane assassinated. And, well, the hitman, he goes into the bathroom while she's taking a shower, and she's singing, and he's putting a silencer on a revolver, which I don't think that would work logically, but again, you can't take these movies too seriously. And what gets him busted is the hitman starts singing along to the song that Jane is singing, and so Frank ends up intercepting him, and so it pretty much ends with them fighting in the hallway, and Frank Drebin, he puts a hose in the hitman's mouth, and, well, he goes to stop the water pressure. The water gets turned on, and he goes to stop it, but the handle breaks, and the water pressure just keeps going in and in and in. And Frank is like, yeah, he decides to go into the bathroom, and then you hear a boom. You hear that kind of noise. Yeah, that hitman, it's safe to say that his assassination days are pretty much over. And it kind of is a little gruesome, but I mean, like, when the water's just like building up, that part, but you don't get to see the after effects. And Frank's like, I wouldn't go out there till they shampoo the carpets. So I'm gonna put, see, I only got one in S. This is a tough one here. I'm gonna put it in B. It was still pretty funny. It was pretty funny. So we're gonna continue with the second one. Now we got the tank. Okay, so the police squad, they go to a house, and that's the same guy that they're chasing, the hitman that ended up getting his head exploded from all that water pressure. So they chase him down to a house, and Frank is like, keep him busy. I'll get him out. So he decides to get into one of the police tanks, and he ends up driving through the house. That definitely gets the guy out, but Frank doesn't know how to stop the tank. So it ends up with Frank crashing, driving through the no, not the Los Angeles. They're in Washington D.C. for this one. So anyway, okay. So Frank is driving the tank, and he ends up driving through the D.C. Zoo. So he ends up, I think he ends up stopping it, and when he gets out, there's a bamboo or like a monkey just hanging on the tank from the zoo that he crashed into during that. So again, I gotta. I don't think it's quite S tier. Man, this is a hard one. I'm just gonna, for the ridiculousness, I'm gonna put it in A. There we go. Now for the last one from the second one, we have the actor who plays Vernon Dudley from the Harry Potter movies, and he's this important doctor, and he's reading this speech, and as he's reading this speech, everybody at the event has fallen asleep, and that's when Ed gives him this book called pouring the love muffin, or it's something like that. It's a love book, and as he's reading it, it's talking about sexual descriptions in the book, and that wakes everybody right on up just like that, because as he's reading, he's talking about this guy is putting his purple-headed warrior into the girl's love pudding. It's like that definitely wakes everybody up, and just because of the graphic descriptions of I didn't really get into all of it. I'm gonna put it in A. I thought it was I'm gonna put it in A. I thought it was pretty good. Now, which one do we want to go? Oh Lord, here we go. Let's see. Let's go. Let's talk about the new one before we talk about the original one. Okay, so for this one, hold on. I got the name right here. I got it correctly this time. Hold on, just 1 second. I know it's in here on this other. Aha, here we go. So we have Miss Cherry Roosevelt Fat Bozo chowing down spaghettis. So let me explain. I kind of went over it, but I looked up the name, and I'm glad I looked it up and found it correctly. So when Liam Neeson, Frank Drebin Jr. is investigating Richard Kane, Pamela Anderson's character, Beth Davenport, happens to be there, and they run into the villain, Richard Kane, and Frank Drebin Jr. and Beth Davenport are whispering to each other. He says, "Does he know that you're Seth Davenport's sister?" And she says, "No." And he's like, "Good, let's keep it that way." And so they, introduce each other, and, Richard Kane, he wants to know, well, who is this? And he is like thinking quickly to think of a name, and he's looking at all these random objects of a cherry in a glass, a picture of Theodore Roosevelt, this fat guy sitting down eating spaghetti, and that's how he comes up with, this is Miss Cherry Roosevelt Fat Bozo chowing down spaghetti. And like Beth Davenport looks at him like, what the fuck kind of last name is that? So, yeah. So, and here's the thing, when Beth Davenport, she wants to kill Richard Kane for killing her brother, right? And so toward the end of the movie, when she meets up with Richard Kane again, and it's so fucking funny because Richard Kane remembers that ridiculous ass last name perfectly. He's like, it's nice to see you again, Miss Cherry Roosevelt Fat Bozo chowing down spaghetti. Like he says it so seriously. So just for that, damn, this is hard. I know I'm putting a lot of them in A. I honestly, I gotta put it in A. It was just so damn good. Yeah, it was pretty good. Okay, now we got 3 more. you're thinking, what's that snowman? Don't worry, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Okay. Now, we have Frank Drebin's first date. So, Frank Drebin Jr. is going to his apartment, but that's when Beth Davenport is waiting outside of his apartment, and they're talking about all this turkey talk about, how do you like it pink in the center of it and all this shit, right? So he decides to bring her in, and they begin talking, and so like he says, I'm sorry, I haven't cleaned up since my first wife. He's got all this junk on the table. He's got like these bullets lying around. He's got a couple of grenades lying around, and and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that. I bet she was a saint, because he talks about that. He pretty much says that she was a football star, his wife, and and she's like, I'm so sorry to hear that she passed. I bet she was a saint. And he says, well, she didn't quite go pro. She would have loved to have been a Saint or a 49er or a Bronco, any of the teams except for the Cleveland Browns. But anyway, okay, so they're getting ready to get the turkey ready, and Frank Drebin closes the curtain, and Richard Kane's first lieutenant is following to watch Frank Drebin, and, well, he gets these thermal vision goggles, and he's looking through the curtain, and it looks like Pamela Anderson is on her knees giving Liam Neeson the best night of his life, and he just happens to be looking up, and she's moving her hands a certain way. But then we cut back to the apartment, and she's got the oven door open, and she's cleaning the oven, and he's got like a rack pan or whatever up above him, and he's grabbing like a pan or whatever, and she's like, God, this, you weren't wrong, this oven is pretty dirty. But then of course they get the turkey, and he continues to watch, and from his point of view, it looks like Frank Drebin is squirting, and Pamela Anderson is having a hand in that. But however, she's just got a turkey baster with something in it squirting the turkey. I mean, it's as innocent, but from a certain point of view, it looks really, really dirty, right? And oh boy, this is where it gets all fucked up here. Oh Lord. Frank Drebin's dog comes in, right? And from the henchman's point of view, it looks like the dog is slobbering on something else, but he's really just wanting what's in the turkey baster. And from the then they cut back to the henchman, and it looks like the dog is biting on Frank Drebin's Johnson, but he's really just biting down on the turkey baster. And then, oh my goodness, how this next part is filmed. So Pamela Anderson's character is sitting on a chair, and she kind of has her legs open a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit. And then you got the dog right there, and Liam Neeson, he gets down on his knees, and he's like, you want something, you want some rub, you want some loving, you want some rubbings, and he's just rubbing them. But how it looks from the henchman's view, it looks like Liam Neeson is doing something else to the dog. Oh my God. And like the henchman is so disgusted, even though nothing bad is happening. It just looks so fucking wrong from a point of view. So I gotta put it in S. It's so fucking good. It is. It's great. Even though there's nothing inappropriate happening but from that point of view, it looks like all sorts of inappropriate shit is happening. But so, oh Lord, let's see, which one do I want to go to next? All right, let's go with this one. Want to bang a snowman? Yeah, so this is from the new one, this snowman, and he's holding a gun. I'll explain it. So when Frank Drebin and Beth Davenport are dating, they move into a house in the snow, and they find a spell book, and they perform a spell, and this green shit comes out of the book, and it goes in. Before then, they built a snowman, and the green spell goes into the snowman. Uh-oh, the snowman is alive and functioning. So the snowman decides to, they decide to let the snowman join their sexual escapades, as, yes, Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson have a threesome with a fucking snowman in this movie. I mean, we don't get the we don't get to see nothing other than, you know, Pamela Anderson's got this dress on during one scene, and the snowman's got one hand on her cheek, and then Liam Neeson's got his hand on her other cheek, and he's got this like snow clone. My goodness, he's got this snow cone flavoring, and he puts it on the snowman's hand, and he's eating it. And there's the one time that both of them are in the hot tub, and the snowman is looking at him, and the snowman's getting jealous because he wants to join in some more, but then they push him out, and that just gets the snowman all pissed off, and you got this scary, kind of creepy music that plays, and then next thing you know, the snowman tries to kill both of them, and it ends with Beth cutting the snowman's head off, and they just throw his body in the hot tub, and that is it for the snowman. Just the ridiculousness of it. I don't think it quite reaches S tier. I'm definitely going to put it in A. I think it's that good. Now we got one more. We got, oh yeah, Chili Dog. So, for those of you that have seen the new one, rather, so the police squad, they are questioning Busta Rhymes, and they're trying to get him to confess that he was at the bank robbery at the beginning of the new one. And Busta Rhymes is saying that I wasn't there. I don't know what you're talking about. That's when Frank Drebin comes in, and he's like, we'll see what my body cam footage has to say. That body cam footage might tell a different story. So they get the footage in there, they get the TV and all that, and they start playing the footage, and that's when Frank Drebin is driving around, and that's when he has that chili dog, and he says, oh yeah, chili dog. And that's when he starts eating the hot dog with chili on it, and he proceeds to have a cup of black coffee right after that, and he pulls some guy over, and he says, license and registration, please, and the guy opens the glove department. He's got a whole bunch of shit that piles out of his glove department. It looks like some pill bottles, and he's got a gun that drops out of there, and he holds the gun. He's like, this ain't my gun. I don't know where this come from. And then you hear Liam Neeson's stomach grumble, like he's like, oh boy, like he's like got to take a major shit. And then he tells the guy, you know what? You seem like a decent enough fella. I'm gonna let you off with a warning. Have a good day. And then because he's more worried about finding a fucking bathroom at this point because of the chili dog and the black coffee. And then you got in the other room where they watch interrogations, you got this woman that's sitting there drinking a cup of coffee watching, and then as all of this is unfolding, he's trying to find a bathroom. You have more and more people join in the other room watching to see what's going to happen, and they already know what's going to happen. And so Frank Drebin, he gets to a restaurant, and he's banging on the restroom door. He's like, police business, I need the bathroom. And there's this lady in line. It looks like a cafe or something. And he's like, excuse me, man, there's a line. And then that's when he pulls his gun out and starts shooting in the air. Everybody is hauling ass out of there, and even the guy in the bathroom. So he gets the guy out of the bathroom. He goes to the bathroom. He goes back in the car, and he's like, you stupid idiot. And then he's just like murmuring to himself. He's like, you were breastfeeding until you were 13 years old. And then he says you can't get it up unless you have the stench of milk on your chin. And then he has another hot dog, and he's looking at it as he's driving it in his hand. He's like, don't you do it. Don't you do it. And he's pulling it closer to his mouth. And Busta Rhymes is just like, oh God, don't eat it. Don't eat it. And he proceeds to eat it. And Liam Neeson is in the corner looking dead serious down on the ground. And he's like, sorry about that. UPS was just flying through here. When she stops barking, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back, guys. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to wait on Coco to stop barking and for UPS to leave. Like, damn it, UPS, why'd y'all have to come through here right now? But anyway, we're back at it. Now, as I was saying, as we're going to get back to it, I know this is a longer one, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me on this one. Okay, so Frank Drebin, he's got the hot dog in his hand, and he's like, don't you do it. Don't do it. And he's just slowly pushing it closer to his mouth, and Busta Rhymes is looking at the TV, all this, just like, oh, like, don't do it, don't do it. And he proceeds to eat the hot dog. And then Frank Drebin, he's in the corner and he's walking over to the corner because he knows what's about to happen. And he looks dead serious and he's looking down and he's like, I had 5 more that day. Like, he ain't like, yeah, he's like dead serious, like something bad just happened. And then in the process of him trying to find a bathroom, he's like, come on, move it. And he's like, I'm going to ruin another suit. So damn, just for that joke, I don't want to put too many in S tier, but it's definitely got to go into A tier. Okay, all right, that's it for the new one. We're going to the original one. So this first one, oh Lord, let's start off with this one. Hang on, I got the exact quote here because I didn't want to forget it. So we have, I shoot the bastards, that's my policy. One of the absolute, because you got to remember, I only picked 4 from each movie. So these 4 from the first one, I think, are the absolute funniest jokes. Like, yeah, you guys see the picture of the beaver, you know where that's heading, but we'll get there when we get there. So I shoot the bastards. That's my policy. So Frank Drebin, is talking to the mayor of Los Angeles during this scene, and this is how the scene plays out. Frank Drebin and Ed are getting ready to leave because he says that I have evidence that Vincent Ludwig is trying to assassinate the Queen, and that's when the mayor says, Drebin, this is how it goes. Drebin, I don't want any more trouble like you had last year on the South Side. Understand? That's my policy. Then Frank Drebin says, yes, well, when I see 5 weirdos dressed in toga stabbing a guy in the middle of the park in full view of 100 people, I shoot the bastards. That's my policy. Then the mayor says, the mayor says, that was a Shakespeare in the Park production of Julius Caesar, you moron. You killed 5 actors, good ones. The fact that she's not worried about if they were bad actors, would she still have the same response of, well, even though they were bad, like, no, it's the fact that they were good actors. That's her main concern about the whole thing. And Frank, dude, Leslie Nielsen, my God, he is so fucking wild. Like, the fact that he is still on the police squad after killing 5 actors because he didn't know it was a fucking play. Like, that's just, that's comedy gold. So oh man, that's a hard one. I'm gonna put it in A. Yeah, I gotta put it in A here. Now, this one, everyone disperse. There's nothing to see. So, there's this doctor that was mind controlled by one of Ludwig's goons to try to kill Nordberg, and Frank is chasing the doctor, and there's this whole funny bit where Frank Drebin, he ends up getting into a teen driving school vehicle to chase after the doctor, and, well, the doctor ends up hitting this one vehicle, and it blows up, but he doesn't die, and then he ends up hitting a tank, and you think, oh, that's going to be it, but no, he ends up, there's only part of the tank that he's on, and he ends up, driving through this fireworks shop, and the whole fireworks shop blows up, and then that's when you see Frank Drebin, please disperse, everyone, nothing to see here, and you got the whole fireworks going off, you got everybody with smoke on them and all that stuff from the explosion, and you got everybody looking, man, that, again, that's a legendary meme, for sure. I gotta put it in S. It's so good. I gotta put it in S. Now, next up, we have the Happy Statue. So, let me explain the setup. So, Frank Drebin is breaking into Vincent Ludwig's apartment to try to find evidence that that Ludwig is planning to have the Queen assassinated, and Frank Drebin, he finds the evidence, but he ends up burning it up, and there's a fire in the apartment, and so Frank Drebin has to get out of the window, and there are these very animate statues. Some of them have boobs, and then some of them, well, have Johnsons and a set of balls. So so Frank is trying to get his way around the building to get out, and there just happens to be a woman who has her window open, and when Frank is grabbing and holding on to the statues with the boobs, of course he's got to put his hands on the boobs. Like, of course he does, and he thinks he's about to hold on to another statue's boobs, but that woman, but that woman with the open window, she's got her bra on, and he ends up grabbing one boob, and you hear a honking noise, and he grabs the other boob, and you hear another honking noise, and she's screaming, freaking out, and closes the window, screaming, and that almost makes him trip up, so he's got to grab onto the nearby statue's Johnson to hold on for dear life, and as he's trying to get up, he's got his mouth. Oh god, am I gonna be able to get through this if I can laugh? And anyway, he's holding on to the Johnson's statue, and as he's getting up, the way he's trying to get up, he's got his mouth open. Oh my god. And then the woman goes back out, she goes to check on him and to see if he's still there, and then she sees that he's got his mouth open at near the Johnson, and that there she goes screaming again, and that's when she leaves the window. No, I think she leaves the window open. Anyway, she goes to call the cops, and as he's getting up, his shoulder, like the way that the Johnson is pointed down, but as he's getting up, his shoulder bumps the Johnson, and the Johnson curves up, and that's when you see that statue smiling, like, what the fuck? Oh goddamn, like, what the hell, man? Jesus Christ, I know this is a long one, but I've had a ball making this one so far. Oh god, we only got one more list, then it'll be over. I gotta put it at S. I'm sorry, it's just that fucking good. Like, oh lord. Now this one is pretty simple. Nice beaver. That one's pretty iconic. So Frank Drebin is meeting Jane for the first time in the first one, and he's looking for like personnel files, because like Nordberg had went to the I Love You boat, and he got shot up by Ludwig's, gang, and she has to climb up. Jane has to, she pulls down the ladder and she goes up to the attic, and he happens to be staring up, right? And he's like, nice beaver, and you assume that he's talking about her cooch, right? But no. And she says, thanks, I just had it stuffed, and she hands him down a literal stuffed beaver. Yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in S. It's that fucking funny because they have you think he's talking about one thing, but when it's an actual beaver, like the joke ain't like that bad once you realize, oh, he's talking about an actual fucking beaver. So yeah, oh man, now we got one more tier list, and then this one is almost over. We're gonna rank the movies. So here we go. And how we're going to do that is I'm just going to rank them based off of how much or how little I left. So here we go. Now, don't get me wrong, just because I got one in one place and one in another place doesn't mean they're necessarily bad. It's just, I would definitely watch all four of them again, 100%. Absolutely. Just going over this list wants to make me go watch the Leslie Nielsen trilogy right now over again. So I'm gonna put in last place the Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear, and I'll put it in B. I'll put it in B. I laughed, but that's the one that I laughed the least out of all of the shit that was going on. Hey, something had to go in last place, and that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. No. It's still pretty good, but it's the one that I laughed the least. Now, in third place, I'm just going to kind of go through them real quick. In third place, I got to go with The Naked Gun, 33 1/3, The Final Insult. And I'm going to should I put it in A or B? I'm going to put it in A. I just thought it was slightly funnier than the second one. Yeah. So there you go. Number 4, Naked Gun 2. Number 3, Naked Gun 33, The Final Insult. Number 2, I'm going to put the Naked Gun 2025. Liam Neeson, oh man, he was close. He was so close. Oh man, his portrayal of the character Frank Drebin Jr. was so good. It was so funny. But it's so hard to beat Leslie Nielsen. So number one obviously goes to the Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad. Oh yeah, Liam Neeson, he gave it his all. He did a fantastic job. I thought he did really well. I thought he did really good. Man, something Liam Neeson though, bro, it was hard to beat Liam Neeson and not Liam Neeson, but Leslie Nielsen. It was hard to beat Leslie Nielsen, but Liam Neeson came close, but he didn't quite do it. So yeah, there's my ranking. So we're gonna kind of go over them real quick, just the rankings. So we got the nuclear disaster in last place. We got the Academy Awards in B tier, the New World in B tier, and then wanting to get rid of Queen Elizabeth in S tier. Then we're gonna go over the villains real quick. Quentin Habsburg in last place. I don't know, his plan, I didn't quite get it. Rocco Dillon in B, it was a little bit more simpler. I actually could understand what he wanted to do. It was clear. Richard Kane again, his plan, even though it was copying the Kingsman, was on a larger scale compared to Rocco Dillon's plan. And then Vincent Ludwig's plan, while it was just simple, and the fact that he was going to have someone else, he was going to mind control someone else to get his hands dirty for him, just master class for sure. And then you got the tier of all the jokes that I added to the list. Yeah, and then the movies. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I know this is a long one, and I appreciate you guys sticking with me, but I had a lot of fun making this tier list. Well, more than just the one, so it's gonna be kind of long, but once I get it edited down, it won't be as long as it originally is. So yeah, if you have any thoughts on any of these tier list or rankings, or if you have a ranking that you would like to share, definitely feel free to put them down in the comments down below. And that is going to do it for me. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by and for your support. And if you're new, welcome on in for the first time. I thank you for your time, and I thank you for your support. And I am Beak, and I'm going to go fly away back to my nest. Until next time, bye guys.